Hi, Leila. I'm going to review your speech outline. I'm just going to screen share with you. Okay, here we go. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about my academic journey and how I did it. What no one believed, but I could, and it could. I'm going to give you information on my background, help you understand who I am. I was born to immigrant parents. My dad attended high school and college. My mom did not. I was told me that she always knew that I was different out of Mother Nature. I'm not sure if you can relate, but being different in an immigrant house is not for the weak. My fifth grade teacher, Mr. Jewel, was the first person to tell my friends that I was struggling in math, reading, and sitting still in class. My mom tried to make me do homework at the kitchen table with my dad, but while it was a memorable experience, it didn't work. The middle school came, and I had to try just hard enough to fail. Had to try so I knew that I was struggling still and focusing in school, but middle school was never serious enough. That was a big issue. I passed though. Then I went to good old Wheaton North High School, and um, and it was predominantly white and wealthy school. I was neither. So most of the schools had graduated from Wheaton North end up being successful. I had hoped that I could do the same, even if I was at Wheaton North poster child. I was the first few weeks were mostly just getting into the hang of being a high school student. Once we started actually doing classwork, I realized that I was doing English class was harder because I was struggling with it internally. I would just like to remind everyone I do know how to read, but I couldn't understand why it was so easy for my classmates to get to read multiple chapters at a night, like it was no problem. But why couldn't I? The words and the letters were so mixed up that they didn't make sense, and I could barely focus. During read alouds, it felt that I was on the wrong page or had the wrong book. It reminded me of going to the eye doctor when they showed letters through blurry lenses. You can't read. You can't read, right? You can't read through. Those lenses were my normal. Math was even worse. Numbers and letters were basically a recipe for failure. So sure, I could do simple addition and subtraction, but everything else was a gray area. I failed both classes that year. That did not go well with my parents. I never heard the end of it. My other classes rarely required independent work, so I was able to mask my struggles. When my final year was freshman year was finally over, I was elated. But before I came, it came sophomore May. I thought the worst was behind me, but yeah, right. I gave up and I missed at least 50% of my sophomore year. I couldn't handle the mental and emotional havoc school caused me. My friends joked about maps and they knew that it was funny that I showed my face in school maybe once a week. My dean, Mr. Warden Ski also found my situation humorous. Some of my favorite jokes, some of his favorite jokes were, "Don't worry, she'll be here for the next 5 years. I'll probably be out of here before she is. And never forget, you can always get your GAD." Oh gosh, I still can't understand somehow. I I still can't answer how someone with the power to help you can make you only regret considering asking for help. My counselor, she said, Mrs. Kuhn told me you have nothing going for you except a career at McDonald's if you continue in this path. I'm sure if he was in the office consoling other students over their problems, or at least the ones who fit their idea of having potential, all of the sudden, she was in office. Okay, all of the sudden, COVID-19 struck America and school went virtual. Sophomore year, I only passed PE and history, and that summer I moved and transferred to Waubonsee Valley High School. I had to take a credit recovery taught by Mrs. Arena. She was one of those teachers who wants to a full run of those who are on the first day. She was interested in fully getting to know how far I was away from my education. For once, I wasn't being talked down to by an educator. I wasn't fully trusting of her at first, but she never failed to remind me to forget about everyone who told me I can't graduate or succeed and prove them wrong because she knew I could. It was surreal to have someone who barely knew me telling me that she believed in me and when everyone else in my life did not. She helped me find audiobooks, walk me through her math homework, and always emailed me back when I needed help, even if it was Sunday at 11:30. She started to urge me to seek help from my learning problems and talk to adults in my life. I was so embarrassed even thinking of bringing up this to my mom, although I think she wasn't quite going to believe me, or she was going to be ashamed of me. But I did it. My mom helped me find out what was wrong. We met with counselor psychiatrists, just like my life had changed forever. I found out that I have ADHD and dyslexia. Wow. Okay. I felt vindicated. I was not lazy, dumb, or slow. I have learning disabilities. Everything I knew about my academic ability was false. I'm just capable of learning. I'm just as capable of learning as my peers. I just needed the procedures to put in place to help me learn. I was excited to finally not feel like a black sheep in a classroom and reach my newfound potential. I started taking medication from ADHD. I got an IEP accommodation and resources to help me reach success at Wabansi. I was covered with the comforting feeling that you get when the eye doctor finally removes those lenses and you can see clearly again. I am sure Mrs. Arena will never know the gravity of how much she changed my life forever. My future was going in a negative direction. Her faith enough in me was enough to bring out the toxic self-loathing cycle I was stuck in. My junior and senior years were a breeze. I went from failing 95% of my class to becoming an A average student. I met educators who really do care for students, peers whose biggest concerns were who drives a nicer car, peers whose biggest concerns weren't who drives a nicer car. I achieved milestones I didn't know were possible. I could finally read, do math, and still do and still without doing and still without only failing. I tried again, even when I knew the chances of failing were much higher than me succeeding. Surprisingly I did. I graduated high school in May 2022. I was so excited to say I did it, Mrs. Wadansky, and this is such a beautiful, and I'm graduated. Very nice, beautiful. Then I graduated while working at while working at McDonald's, Mrs. Shoon. I did, and I graduated while I was working. Okay, my Mrs. My newfound confidence drives me to do whatever people do not expect me to be able to do because they think my learning disability makes me less capable. I was sure that those who never had faith in me were the right people to tell me what I'm capable of. I believed every single word, even after all this. All it took one person to tell me that they believed in me, and it opened up a door of possibilities. I know it may take me an hour or 5 hours longer to read a book, as long as I can do it. I know that because I know what I'm capable of. I failed so many times that I have succeeded than I have succeeded academically. The point is, though, I have succeeded. I have will and continue to do, regardless of who tells me I can't. Very nicely, very, very, very beautiful story. Leila, I'm just completely kind of really, really, what do I say? I'm totally with you, and totally, my passion has been aroused completely. It's a beautifully written story. And I'm just going to be a little concerned about the only thing that is in terms of timing. Do you think you'll be able to fit it in 5 minutes? So that's something that you may want to look at. Other than that, there's nothing else that you need to do. It's a beautiful outline. Just keep it just as it is. Wonderful. Thank you.